Well,
Hello, hello.
here we are again for Baba Yaga podcast.
What is that, episode 3?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, number 3. Good things come in threes.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a good one.
I think so. Well, we're starting off, we're gonna be taking in some classes at Book and Puppet, so I wanted to talk about that, and I'm excited because I'm just learning how to teach now. I taught workshops in the past, but I never really was like, okay, let me make a lesson plan and really focus on it. And it was always like, no, this is the idea, and I'll just do this and that, and it'll be fine. And it was never really this structured. So I'm excited to really sit down and think about how I want to teach some lessons and get started. So
what are you going to be teaching, Arta?
I want to start teaching Introduction to Oil Painting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great place to start because a lot of my friends are like, oh, I paint in acrylics, but I always want to try oils. I always wanted to work in oils, and they're actually easier, and you can find some student-grade affordable paint to get started, and it's a lot of fun. So
It's wonderful painting in oils. It's just a wonderful medium.
there's nothing like it. There's no other smell like it. Trust me, it'll grow on you. You're like, oh, this is weird. But then you're like, it becomes home.
Yes.
It's like I love the smell of the studio.
Yeah.
How about you, Gaia? What are you going to be teaching?
Well, I definitely want to start a dream group, which I think will be really fun. We can do creative stuff with dreams, not just talk about them, but create some artwork around the dreams. Building on some somatic imagery in our bodies to create art from a healing place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I want to do. And I also want to just do some fun craft projects for grown-ups and for kids. So I think we're going to have a really fun summer at Book and Puppet with the classes.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to cover a wide range, and I think I specifically want to cover 16 and up. I've never really taught 16-year-olds. I'm starting to teach now. I'm helping out at Charter Arts as a TA at the moment, and I'm learning a lot, just one day a week, but it's a lot of fun, and I think I'm excited. Should be fun.
Well, I know you're going to be an amazing instructor. You are so knowledgeable, and you have so much empathy for people, and so much excitement and attention that you give to the gist of what's happening on the canvas. You have an incredible eye and incredible skills. So I think anyone who studies with you is going to be really fortunate.
Thank you. That means a lot. I have been studying for a while. I have been painting in oils for 12 years now, so I learned a couple things.
So now you're going to be confident.
I am going to try to be confident and talking about...
Pardon me. Confident, and then I start coughing.
And then we start coughing. It's okay.
Yeah.
Confident. Speaking of confidence, though, that's kind of what we wanted to discuss was feminine confidence and just confidence in general, specifically for women, and how we get our confidence and what that might look like,
Mm-hmm.
and how that transforms.
Yeah, confidence from a feminine place, whether you are male or female bodied, seems really different than the kind of confidence that we're taught is, a patriarchal from a patriarchal perspective.
Yeah, and I find myself we were just having a discussion before the podcast, kind of just to set the tone of what is it that we might want to focus on, and you asked that question is where does your confidence come from? And although I'm getting my confidence from expression and being out and enjoying the femininity that I'm able to, you know, express externally, that a lot of that kind of socialization and interaction and kind of performativity that we do with each other, that's ritualistic in like the societal sense, like my confidence, it really helped me then when I was at the beginning of my transition. I was like, yes, like this feels right, and I still feel that way, but the internal world of myself has been shifting since the transition, and my confidence is coming more from an internal place for me now, that I guess still is, it it is dependent on me expressing myself, obviously, but it's more than that now. Like it I feel like I don't know, it has solidified in a certain sense for me, and is starting to solidify more, like this sense of self and this sense of um, my feminine, I guess, self. But it's also like weird because like the world doesn't support feminine confidence. Like me being, I'm not like I guess I am still a spring chicken. I'm 31, so it's like I'm in a position where I should have a child by now, technically speaking. Not, it's awful, but like like what, like most people my age have had, are getting married or bought a house, or like have these things, these milestones that I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they reach, like, oh, I have this confidence. And a lot of that stuff is very patriarchal confidence, like sense of
Mm-hmm.
self. um
There's like these ritual containers that our society is very bad at providing these days, but that they're materialistic, or they're built on these patriarchal models of family structure, and they provide, a sense of validation maybe that people confuse with confidence.
I think that's what it is. That's exactly what it is, because that's what I've always been confusing. And it's, thank you for bringing up the spiritual containers, because that's exactly what it is. I think it's like, my confidence being in, being in a family now that is acknowledging my femininity and myself as a young woman, and like, you know, these containers of like, supporting someone, buying them the clothes that they actually want to wear, and like these small rituals of like doing certain things, or going out with your girlfriends, or like building this cohortness that's around the feminine expression, and holding space to like enjoy that for yourself, and connect with yourself on that side of yourself. um, I think that's where I feel safe, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's where I can feel myself come through, and that's where I feel more clear, and that's where I feel alive again. Like I feel like I did when I was a child, and not really thinking about gender as much. I knew it was like a thing that was weird. I didn't understand fully, but like I still had resonance of the origin of the soul. I still had resonance of my eternal femininity from within. I still had a connection to that self that got dulled over time, and hid away because I wasn't allowed to express that. And now that I'm doing this, it's like pushed me back, in a sense, back to this kind of space where I didn't know myself, and to find myself anew. I still don't know myself, but it's nice. But it's also like it's starting to feel more solidified and clear and real, and it no longer is, I guess it's no longer dependent on the confirmation of the other as much.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to be more dependent on the confirmation of, I guess, the total community, the ritual, the place in community, the things I feel I can do and provide, that are being felt by others, and not just felt, but accepted.
Mm-hmm.
My feminine gifts of grace and of generosity, and how I want to support and love my friends, they see it as like, she cares, she's loving, she is maternal, which I always had a very deep maternal side, but I was never able to express it. And,
Right.
like I love my friends and I'm caring, but it's also like when I was being seen as masculine, I wasn't allowed to really like nobody gave me space for my maternal instincts.
Right.
And you lose a lot when you don't feel useful. Like I can't be a mom. I can't, like no one's
Yeah.
gonna see me as a mother or as like a maternal figure or someone who looks out for people because of the shape of my body or something, which is stupid.
Well, when I think about the things that have given me confidence in my life, having my own money, being able to get a good education, being able to be in a profession and be respected in my profession, those are all those are things that we tend to associate with a masculine kind of persona. And I think that for me, the biggest blow to my confidence was the way in which I was taught from a very young age that as a female bodied person, I was supposed to be a victim and I was supposed to be helpless and I was supposed to not have agency and just be done to instead of being able to do. I saw myself as a heroic figure when I was 3 years old. I wanted to be a hero. I didn't want to be the person getting rescued. I wanted to be the person doing the rescuing.
I wanted to be the person getting rescued.
And here we are.
And I'm rescuing myself. Well, my friends are helping me along the way. Thank you, Gaia. I really appreciate you. But
Now we know what it's all about. But really, there's beyond just having the confidence to live your life in a way where you feel safe. There's the confidence that comes from being able to express the part of yourself that deep inside is your true self and to be accepted.
totally.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women don't get to see themselves in the world because a lot of their dreams are stifled. A lot of those possibilities. I mean, just women getting rights to education, women getting rights to it's still a struggle around the world. It's
Yeah.
I don't, but that's the thing. It's I don't know where I was going with this. I'm sorry.
Well, there's certainly been a lot of changes in our society very recently that have undercut women's agency over their bodies and over their careers, and
I mean,
not
what's
just women, other groups too. But it's really is distressing to see that happening, and I think it's important to to focus in on what confidence really means, and because it doesn't have to be a masculine confidence or a feminine
No.
confidence. The confidence that we have is in our authenticity.
Yes, that's what it is. The authenticity. That's why I always talk too much and then I'm like, what was I talking about? But it is the authentic. And I think that's where I'm I kind of am still in this enigmas space with my femininity because I still have a hard time seeing myself as fully female because well, the world doesn't there's no space for trans women in American culture to be seen. I never saw it growing up. I never saw myself represented in the world. I'm only now I'm coming up with a bunch of trans women, being 31. It's now I've seen other trans people on magazines and in TV and in Hollywood, and it's much more accessible now. But to be in the now as a non-binary third gender person and to be actively making work that means something or is coming from a visceral place internally, that gives me confidence because it's like you're screaming into the wind, but at least you're screaming into the wind and you're vibrating and the wind is roaring back and you're to me it's being witnessed. It's expressing yourself, but like you said, not from this place of masculine or feminine. It truly is from authenticity, and we just happen to play in masculine or feminine or non-binary ways that make us feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But like outside of that, no, it's about the authentic heart, The heart wants what it wants.
Yeah. And sometimes you want to be protective and heroic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always protective and heroic, but I definitely like being rescued. Even
It
though
feels good.
it feels good, but I'm also like, no one's gonna rescue me. Like I'm realizing like every time I'm just like, let's be real, nobody's rescuing nobody. We gotta rescue ourselves. And it's honestly more fun that way too, because you learn the things you learn when you have to rescue yourself are the things, they're the things that make you, honestly. And those are the things that can never be taken away. So it's worth it. We're worth it to rescue and save ourselves and protect and take care of ourselves.
And to support each other in our mutual self-rescue, which I think is really what this podcast is all about.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling this way. Confidence is lost on a lot of us. It's growing on a lot of us in different formats. And I think, yeah, the authentic self and supporting each other on the authentic self. Like not being judgmental, but listening, like hearing people out and like letting people be and explore and giving them safe spaces to explore is really important. Like not like it doesn't make sense to cut out bathroom accessibility to people who are just trying to go to the bathroom or anything like that. It's just ridiculous because it's like for a healthy civilization, we need healthy people, and for that to happen, self-expression and authenticity are honestly at the cornerstone of the human heart.
Well, when you think about the root of the word confidence, a related word is to confide.
Yeah, confidant. Like the
Yes.
confidant.
So con is with, and FID is a root for faithfulness, for being true.
Oh, the etymology of this word.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So fidelity. So you when you're confident, you have fidelity with yourself.
You have fidelity with your truth.
Yes.
That's what it is. Holding and honoring your truth.
Yes.
And I think right now, that's the most important thing. And whatever that looks like, hold it and honor it. Hold it and honor it.
One more quick announcement before we wrap this up. The Book and Puppet art show right now is Cindy Voinovich. And her actual opening hasn't happened yet.
No, it's on the 26th, right?
It's on April 26th. That's a Saturday from 11 to 5 because that's when the Easton Arts Tour is happening.
Yep, and we're also going to be having an opening at 11:20. It's throughout the whole time, so don't feel like you have to like miss Cindy's show. Please come to Cindy's show, 6 to 5. And then
11 to 5.
11 to 5. My apologies.
6 to 5. It's a 25-hour show.
It's a 25-hour show. 11 to 5. And then maybe come on over for an after party at 11:20. Yeah.
1120 Butler.
1120 Butler Street. We're in the West Ward. It's a bunch of studios of artists. There's 24 studios, I believe. And we're all having open studios, and just come hang out. Come look at the art. Come be with some friends and community. It's going to be a good time.
Awesome. So thank you for joining us for the Baba Yaga podcast, episode 3, here on the Pink Moon.
It's the Pink Moon.
It's the Pink Moon.
Is the following one the Worm Moon, or was that the last one?
I think the next one after this is the Worm Moon.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
It seems scary.
Yeah.
Baba Yaga scary. All right.